Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be looking at a company that's been on a roller coaster ride for the past decade.
Oh, yeah.
Western Digital,
WDC.
it has been a wild ride.
Yeah, a decade-long downtrend.
It's pretty fascinating because they just broke out of that decade-long downtrend.
A decade?
Yeah.
That's like being stuck in investment purgatory.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What happened? What finally shook things up?
Well, a couple of things happened recently.
Okay.
First, they smashed their earnings estimates for the second quarter of fiscal year 2025,
Wow.
bringing in $4.3 billion in revenue.
Okay, that's a huge number.
Huge.
What does that actually mean for investors?
Sure. Let me get this way. While the overall PC market is slumping,
Right.
Western Digital's bread and butter,
Okay.
hard disk drives, or HDDs,
Gotcha.
are seeing huge demand,
Okay.
especially their nearline drives used in data centers and cloud storage.
Okay.
This is where the AI boom comes into play. AI, yeah, everybody's talking about AI, but they don't always connect the dots to the infrastructure needed to support it.
Exactly. All those massive AI models need a place to store the mountains of data they process.
I see.
That's where Western Digital's nearline drives come in.
Okay.
Plus, their new Ultra SMR technology is boosting storage capacity and efficiency,
I see.
which is a big win for their margins.
So it's like Western Digital is quietly powering the AI revolution behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I also remember something about their flash memory business facing some challenges.
That's right. The flash market, which includes things like SSDs used in laptops and smartphones,
Yeah.
is currently facing pricing pressure.
Okay.
It's actually a bit of a paradox. The same cloud providers who are snapping up Western Digital's HDDs
Right.
are being more cautious about spending on flash memory.
So we've got this exciting growth story on the HDD side, but a bit of a question mark hanging over the flash business.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tug of war.
Okay.
However, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Analysts are predicting a potential rebound in flash memory pricing in the second half of 2025.
Okay.
And this is where Western Digital's recent strategic move comes into play.
You're talking about the split.
Yes.
They just separated their flash and HDD divisions into two separate companies?
Yes, this is a bold move that's generated a lot of buzz. Imagine it like this.
Okay.
You've got two horses pulling a chariot,
Uh-huh.
one strong and steady, the HD business,
Right.
the other a bit wobbly, the flash business.
Gotcha.
By separating them, Western Digital is hoping each horse can run at its own pace and potentially achieve greater speeds.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
But some analysts are skeptical about this split. What makes you think this will be a successful strategy?
That's a great question. And skepticism is healthy in investing.
Yeah.
The idea behind the split is to allow each division to focus on its specific market
Okay.
and tailor its strategies accordingly.
Gotcha.
By creating two independent entities, Western Digital can potentially unlock value that was hidden within the combined structure.
So by giving each division more autonomy, they can be more agile and responsive to market dynamics?
Exactly.
Like taking off the training wheels.
Yeah,
And the market seems to be responding positively to this move.
it seems to be.
The stock has held up well since the split announcement, and some investors are even seeing it as a catalyst for future growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. So we've got this exciting breakout from a decade-long downtrend, a booming HDD business fueled by AI, and a strategic split that could unlock value.
Yep.
Where does that leave us on the charts?
From a technical perspective, it's getting really interesting. Remember that breakout we talked about?
Yes,
It's created a pattern called a flag.
a flag pattern.
I know, right?
Sounds more like something you'd see on a pirate ship than a stock chart.
But hear me out.
Okay.
Imagine a pirate ship rapidly climbing a wave.
Okay.
That's the initial price surge. Then the ship pauses briefly at the crest of the wave,
Uh-huh.
taking a breather before continuing its upward journey. That pause is the flag, and it often signals a continuation of the upward momentum.
I'm starting to see the picture.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, this flag is a bullish signal,
Yes.
suggesting that Western Digital stock could be poised for further gains.
Exactly.
If this flag breaks out upwards, which many analysts believe it will,
Uh-huh.
we could be looking at a price target around $80 to $84.
That's right.
Wow, that's a significant jump from its current trading range.
It is.
Is everyone on board with this bullish outlook?
Not so fast.
Oh,
While there's a lot to be excited about, no investment is without risk.
right,
Remember, the flash market's facing headwinds, and execution on this split is critical.
right. Any missteps in integrating the separated businesses could derail the whole strategy.
Totally.
Plus, we can't ignore the broader market conditions.
Precisely. If there's a downturn in the tech sector or the overall market, Western Digital could be negatively impacted.
Okay?
Their stock can be sensitive to those broader swings.
So it's a bit of a balancing act, weighing the potential rewards against the potential risks. What stands out to you in this whole scenario?
What's most interesting to me is the convergence of these different factors. The breakout the strong HDD performance driven by AI and the strategic split.
Okay.
It's like all the pieces are falling into place for a potential turnaround story, but there are still some uncertainties that need to be addressed.
Okay, so we've got a company riding high on AI-driven demand, a smart strategic split, and some intriguing technical signals. Definitely one to keep an eye on.
For sure.
But what does this all mean for our listeners who are trying to navigate the stock market?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Western Digital presents both opportunities and challenges.
Right.
It's a reminder that in the world of investing, understanding both the fundamentals and the technicals is key to making informed decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've given you a lot to think about today regarding WDC. What are your thoughts? Is Western Digital on your watch list? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. It's certainly a company worth considering, especially if you're bullish on the long-term growth of the data storage market and the role of AI.
You mentioned risks earlier. What are some things that could throw a wrench in this potentially positive scenario?
A key concern is the execution of the split.
Okay.
Splitting a company is a complex operation, and any hiccups in the process could lead to unexpected costs or difficulties in realizing the intended benefits.
So it's not just about the idea of the split. It's about how effectively they can pull it off.
Exactly. And then there's the flash memory market.
Right.
While analysts are predicting a rebound, there's no guarantee it will happen as quickly or as strongly as anticipated.
Right.
A prolonged downturn in flash pricing could definitely impact Western Digital's overall performance.
Right. And their guidance for the third quarter wasn't exactly rosy.
Yeah.
They're expecting a dip in revenue due to lower volumes in both flash and HDDs?
Yes, they cited pricing pressures in the flash market and a pullback in cloud demand as contributing factors. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. However, it's important to remember that this is a short-term outlook. The long-term trends, especially those tied to AI and data storage,
Right.
remain quite favorable.
It's that classic investor dilemma, isn't it? Balancing short-term volatility with long-term potential. Speaking of long-term potential, we talked about how Western Digital's riding the AI wave with its HDDs.
Right.
But what about the flash side of things? How does that fit into the overall picture?
That's where the split gets really interesting.
Okay.
By separating the flash and HDD businesses, Western Digital is essentially acknowledging that these are two distinct markets with different dynamics.
Gotcha.
Flash memory, with its speed and smaller size, is crucial for devices like laptops and smartphones.
Okay.
While those markets are mature,
Right.
the demand for flash in data centers is growing rapidly, driven by the need for faster data access and processing.
So while the consumer side of flash might be facing headwinds,
Mm-hmm.
the data center side could be a significant growth driver moving forward.
Precisely. And with the split, the flash division can focus specifically on capitalizing on that data center opportunity.
Okay.
They can tailor their R&D efforts, their marketing strategies, and their partnerships to cater to that specific market.
It's like giving the flash division the freedom to chart its own course and chase those high-growth opportunities.
Exactly. And let's not forget about potential synergies that could arise from this split.
Okay.
With both divisions operating independently, they might be able to collaborate more effectively with other players in the industry.
For instance, the flash division might be able to partner with a company that specializes in data center solutions, allowing them to access new markets or technology.
Exactly. These are the kinds of opportunities that could emerge from this split, and they're definitely worth considering when evaluating Western Digital's long-term prospects.
So we've got this interesting dynamic, a company with a strong foundation in HDDs riding the AI wave, and a potentially revitalized flash business poised to capitalize on the data center boom.
Yeah.
But as with any investment, there are always risks to consider.
Absolutely. Competition is fierce in the data storage market.
Right.
Western Digital faces rivals like Seagate in the HDD space and giants like Samsung and Micron in the flash memory arena.
Right.
They need to stay ahead of the curve in terms of innovation and cost efficiency to maintain their competitive edge.
Right. They can't afford to rest on their laurels. Plus, as we discussed earlier, the broader market conditions can have a significant impact on a company's performance. What are some of the macroeconomic factors that investors should keep in mind when evaluating Western Digital?
Global economic growth is a key factor. If the global economy slows down, demand for data storage could weaken, impacting Western Digital's revenue.
Okay.
We're also seeing rising interest rates, which can make it more expensive for companies to borrow money and invest in growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are geopolitical risks such as trade tensions and political instability, which can create uncertainty and volatility in the markets.
It's a lot to juggle, isn't it, trying to assess a company's fundamentals, its technical outlook, and the broader macroeconomic environment? But that's the challenge and the excitement of investing.
Exactly. It's about piecing together all these different pieces of information to form a well-rounded view of a company and its potential. And remember, it's okay to be skeptical.
Right.
to question assumptions, and to seek out diverse perspectives.
Speaking of diverse perspectives, we'd love to hear from our listeners. What are your thoughts on Western Digital? Are you bullish on their prospects, or do you see some red flags? Let's dive into some of the nitty-gritty details about Western Digital.
Okay.
Starting with their financials, what can you tell us about their balance sheet and cash flow?
Western Digital has a solid balance sheet with a manageable level of debt.
Okay.
Their cash flow from operations is strong,
Okay.
particularly thanks to the profitability of their HDD business.
That sounds promising.
Yeah,
A healthy cash flow is essential for any company looking to grow and innovate, right?
absolutely. Strong cash flow allows companies to invest in research and development, pursue strategic acquisitions, and even return value to shareholders through dividends.
Speaking of dividends, does Western Digital currently pay them?
They do.
Okay.
They have a dividend yield of around 1.7%.
Gotcha.
While it's not the highest in the tech sector,
Yeah.
it's a decent return for investors seeking some passive income,
It's a good sign that they're sharing some of their profits with investors.
for sure.
Now let's zoom out a bit and talk about Western Digital's position in the broader data storage market.
Okay.
Who are their main competitors?
As we touched upon earlier, their primary rival in the hard drive market is Seagate Technology, ticker symbol SGA.
Okay.
In the flash memory market, they face competition from heavy hitters like Samsung Micron, ticker symbol MU,
Right.
and Kioxia.
So they're up against some tough competition, both established players and potentially new entrants. What are some of the key factors that could impact their ability to compete effectively?
Innovation is paramount in this industry. Western Digital needs to continually invest in research and development to develop new technologies and improve existing ones. Think about it, the data storage needs of today
Right.
are vastly different from what they were even 5 years ago.
Right. The amount of data being generated is exploding, and the way we access and use that data is constantly evolving.
Exactly. Western Digital needs to stay ahead of these trends to remain competitive. Another crucial aspect is cost efficiency.
Okay.
They need to keep their manufacturing costs low to offer competitive pricing, especially in the face of pressure from rivals like Seagate.
And of course, we can't forget about the macroeconomic factors we discussed earlier. A global economic slowdown or rising interest rates could certainly impact their business.
Absolutely. It's all interconnected. Investing is like putting together a puzzle, considering all these different pieces and how they fit together.
We've covered a lot of ground in this episode,
Yeah.
exploring Western Digital's recent performance, their strategic decisions, the industry landscape, their financials, and even the risks they face.
We have.
What's the key takeaway for investors who are considering adding WDC to their portfolio?
Western Digital is a company at a crossroads. They're a leader in the HDD market, riding the wave of AI-driven demand.
Right.
Their strategic split has the potential to unlock value and allow their flash business to capitalize on new opportunities.
But as we've discussed, there are risks to consider. The success of the split is not guaranteed, and competition in the data storage market is fierce.
Exactly. It's a situation where the potential rewards are high, but so are the potential risks. It all comes down to your individual risk tolerance and investment goals.
We've aimed to give our listeners a comprehensive look at Western Digital, equipping them with the information they need to make informed decisions.
For sure.
Remember, investing involves inherent risks, and it's always a good idea to do your own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. We hope you found this episode of Investing Talk podcast valuable and insightful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share this episode with anyone who might find it interesting, and leave a comment below. We always love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Until next time, happy investing.
See you next time.